All right, joined here by June Ford, the daughter of the great Carji Greeves. June, obviously it's our retro game this weekend and the Geelong Cats will be wearing a jumper inspired by your dad's Brownlow triumph in the 1924 season. How important is it for you and your family to see that jumper worn by the team this weekend?
Oh, I think it's amazing to think that, Dad wouldn't have believed that his name was still being recognised after 100 years, and the way they've done it I think is just fantastic. So I think the result is that I've just keep buying jumpers for family members. It's an indication of that we're quite thrilled about it all, really.
It is a fantastic looking jumper. Do you have any memories of your dad talking about obviously playing for Geelong or winning that Brownlow medal from the 1924 season?
He didn't really talk about it a great deal. I think it was a completely different sort of setup. I mean, there was no presentation evening like they have now, a great big thing. I think the story goes that he was running around probably training on the oval and someone official said to him, "Here, you should take this home." And that was the Brownlow medal.
So it was a bit...
There was nothing that, there's no show, no party or anything. It was just given to him and he took it home. And then I think Mum asked if she could make it into a brooch because it was the only one that was 18 karat gold, and she didn't wear it much. She used to wear it inside, but if someone wanted to see it, she had it pinned inside her lapel or something. And people were interested, and I think both Mum and Dad liked for people to see it if they wanted to, So that was... I don't have many Brownlow medal day or the evening. There would always be lots of phone calls and Dad was asked to be interviewed and talk about the game and how to play in the centre and, things like that. There was people like, Jack Dyer and Lou Richards, a few of them would ring him up. Sometimes they came to Ararat,
So it's interesting over history how, something informal can now turn into quite a formal. It's obviously the most prestigious individual award in the AFL, but going back to your dad again, what sort of memories of him do you have of how he played? Obviously we were discussing before there's not a heap of footage around of playing back then, but how would you sort of describe him as a player?
Well, unfortunately, I was born 10 years after he gave up playing, so I didn't have the good luck to be able to see him play. I only know what people have told me. They always thought he was very good, his anticipation was good. People have said he was slow, but his anticipation sort of added to that, and therefore he was looked as though he was fast, but in actual fact it was not the case, He talked about people he played with that I think he was a modest man, and we always had what we sort of what we call as a skate room. People would say it was an office at home, but it was only as if somebody said, "Can we go and have a look at something?" He was quite happy to take them in and have that, and I think we've kept that up all our lives. I know, and we're just amazed that his name is still around, and I think it's fabulous that the best and fairest for Geelong is named after Dad. And I love the way they call it the Carji. Yes, so so it's good.
We were doing a bit of research throughout the week and we're trying to nail down exactly where did the name Carji come from?
Well, it's quite a long story, but my grandfather had a friend who was a very good golfer, and he went to a play in Melbourne, and on his way home he called in to see the family at Warrigal, the little baby, and looked in the bassinet and said, "Hello, little Carji," because the little boy in the play was named Carangelo, and it just stuck all his life. Hardly anybody ever called him Edward, no. So it was just one of those things that happened through a friend, really. Yeah, that story. I think I'm more amazed that a lot of people don't know that Dad was chosen to go to America, to the University of California, to teach the gridiron players how to kick a ball. They always kicked the ball with their toe and not very far, and it wasn't very accurate. And after 6 months working at the university, it took him a long time to get the coaches to have a go, and then the players. But I think they won the premiership that year, you know. He wrote a letter to his parents. That's how I know about that. And it was big then, because I think they were getting something like $38,000 for the game or something, you know, and most of the students that were at the university were chosen to be there for their sporting ability, you know, as well as their academic ability. So I think that was a great experience. I love the fact that an Australian taught the Americans how to kick a ball properly.
Now, you mentioned then his humility and maybe not wanting to show off the medal or only when people ask, but you've obviously got this beautiful family connection, and everyone involved in the Geelong Football Club knows the name Carji Greeves, as you mentioned. We know him as a footballer. As a dad, what was he like as a dad and a family figure?
Yeah, he was a fabulous dad. Yes, you know, he was just good. And he encouraged us to play sport, and he taught me to play tennis without being forceful, but you should be more ambitious to win the game, you know, because he was always had to win, probably. More competitive, yes. And I failed in that a bit because I'd feel sorry for the person on the other end. But he always came to watch the matches, and I think he was an all-round sportsperson. We were all sporting people. My mother was a singer, and nobody took after her. We all played sport, so you know, it was tennis. Dad won tennis championships and bowling championships, and I think he played cricket. In fact, I think originally he had to choose between playing cricket at a high level or football. You couldn't really do both and run a farm, you know, at the time. So, I think he was just generally an all-round sportsman, and I suppose we took after him a bit about that, yeah.
You mentioned before, June, you're going to be coming to the game tomorrow night, and you mentioned the jumper already. How do you feel seeing that jumper sort of re-immortalised with the current playing group wearing that, and for you to come and watch that again tomorrow night?
I'm really excited. I think it's a fabulous idea, and it looks great, you know. And I think the club does everything so well when they choose to do that. I love the names of all the players from that year on them, and I think an indication that I've bought 6 of them now is that I'm pretty proud of them, really. So, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. So it'll be good. Yeah.
Obviously this morning you've been out at our captain's run, and you got to see a lot of the players and got a photo with them, and we've presented you with a signed one of the retro jumpers, which was fantastic for the players to see you. But what was it like for you to be out at training, and how have you seen the team so far this season as you've been following them?
Yes. Oh, look, I think it was very exciting today, and I've never really come to watch the practice before. And to watch a little bit of what they were doing inside to warm up and then go out, and the various aspects of their training. I suppose it's a more gentle training day on the Friday before the game. I think as far as we all know they've had a little bit of an off time, but how many years have we been in the game? You know, I think it's amazing the record of their play, and I think they've still got a good chance of being on top this year, really. And we'll just see what happens tomorrow night. Yeah. It'll be a hard game, I think, tomorrow night, but fingers crossed we'll get there.
Well, it's been fantastic to have you back in the club today, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, and looking forward to your support throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you very much. It was good. Yeah, no, thanks so much. I enjoyed everything. Yeah.